Bum bum ba-dum, bum bum ba-dum. Marriage.
It's what brings us together today.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to be doing Reddit reactions of wedding-themed stories.
Yeah.
And just in case if you didn't know, this is everyday theology.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Weddings are one of the most stressful things about life. And obviously, there's plenty of stories on Reddit. So, we might be doing a few of these series, honestly.
This is going to be a 5-hour long video.
Sorry about last episode. What was it, like an hour and 45 minutes?
Yeah, it was a little bit longer. We weren't expecting all those updates.
Yeah, that one was just painful. I don't know if you watched that one, but it was traumatic.
It was rough.
We felt wrung out after that one.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Okay, so what do we got?
Diving into our first story. Am I the a-hole for expecting my sister to plan my wedding for free and demoting her to guest when she wouldn't? I also told anyone who took her side I was not helping them anymore either. This lady sounds like something. My fiance and I have a small accounting office. We do pretty well on account of both of us being bilingual. English and Spanish for me and English and Ukrainian for him. About 10% of my business is family and friends of the family. I have taken barter for work more often than you can imagine. All above board and documented. My aunt paid in empanadas 1 year.
Oh my God.
My uncle had his mom make us a huge batch of tamales. Even my dad has been helping my fiance fix up his truck. I've had to pick him up more than once because my mom stuffs him and my dad gets him loaded on aguardiente. Everyone we have ever traded with has provided fair exchange. I have done my sister's accounting since she started her wedding planning company. Obviously, she has nothing to trade, so I've been doing it for free. First, to help her get started, and now because we don't want her to fall into a rut. But now I'm getting married. I told everyone at dinner and my mom and dad's house. I asked her if she would plan my wedding and be my maid of honor. She said yes to maid of honor, but not to planning my wedding. I asked her why not, and she said I would need to pay for her services. That she can't do free stuff for family because she needs to make money at her job. Yikes. Double standards. All right. She literally said it like I didn't know what a job was. Oh, sisters. So I talked to my fiance and then to my parents, who told my sister that she would be getting an invitation, but that she was no longer in the wedding party. I also gave her all the files for the year on a USB drive. I said she needed to take her business elsewhere.
Oof.
My mom and dad told her that I was right and that they were disappointed that she wanted to make money off of me after everything I did to help her. She went on social media to complain and a few people took her side, which is fair. I don't expect everyone to see my point. But then a few started contacting me. I listened and asked them if I should continue working for her for free. Most said no. A few said family helps family. Yeah. You'd think that, wouldn't you? If I did their taxes, I told them I was not doing them this year or in the future. They tried to backpedal, but I held strong. My sister says she won't come. I told her to RSVP no. She said she wasn't thinking when she said no. Not my problem. She has 2 months to get a new accountant.
Dang.
Dude.
Okay. Wow. That's
crazy. She's like, I'll do all your financing for free. And she's like, gee, thanks. Oh, do you think you could plan my wedding? No, I have to charge you for that. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
Huh. Yeah. See, I think like things get complicated when, especially, okay, with family, if you have a large family, it gets kind of complicated on how to navigate work exchange. People need things done. So if you have a skill set, like I'm a landscaper, and I try not to do a whole lot of work with family, not that I have a problem with that, but I have a kind of a standard. I'm like, I'll do it for free. I don't like charging for family, but I do limit my availability. So yeah. I'm always for free, but I do limit it that. It's just like, I can't do that. My schedule's too busy or something like that.
Yeah, but you try and do it, but it's just not going to be as often as your paying clients, which makes sense.
Right. Yeah, because I don't know. It feels weird, like charging family. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, obviously, like one sister was just like, I have no problem doing your finances. That's totally fine. And then she's just all like, kind of wanted to cash in on I've been helping you for free for so long. Do you think you could plan my wedding?
Mm-hmm.
And then the sister was just like, yeah, but I have to charge you. It's just like, that seems really unfair and strange that she's okay with her sister that's her job is accounting and stuff.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, I'm okay with you giving me free things, but I'm not okay giving you anything.
Yeah. I do have one thing to say about the OP, the original poster, this gal. So with her business as an accountant, it sounds she opened it by saying we do really well. We do fairly well. We're both bilingual. We have a lot of business. Yada yada. They both work in that, and it sounds like they're doing pretty well off. And then she goes on to explain about how everyone she does business with, it's like a fair trade deal. So it sounds like she doesn't do free for anybody. So it's like, sorry, mom. Either you pay up in the empanadas, or we're not, or pay me in money. So. Yeah. It does sound like she isn't willing to do any free work. And
well, like free in the way where it's just all like, it's still like a trade, but it's not. I would say it's probably not an equal tender trade because it's like her services would cost this amount, but she's not like, make me this amount of empanadas if we factor in. I don't know. Maybe she is. She's accountant brain where she's like, if it's $4 an empanada and you gave me 400 empanadas.
Who knows, even. Man? These are accountants we're doing.
I don't know.
But also like, and then it gets really complicated because then what do you do? Like time wise, or like money deal wise? Because that is different. Like someone who's a wedding planner, they might work a whole week. Like, there's a lot to contact, a lot to set up. You're actually like hanging the what are those called? Decorations.
Yeah.
And then, you're contacting people, you're going to you're like setting up and all that kind of stuff. That's like laborious time.
Well, and I wonder if she because it kind of seems like, oh, you're not going to plan my wedding? This is over. I wonder if they ever talk to me like, well, it's just like, it seems fair to me that you would plan my wedding because I've been doing your finances for this wedding business for free for I don't know how long. Oh, at least a year.
Yeah.
Or plus.
Yeah.
So it's just all like, I thought it was like, to me, I wanted to help you start this. And then it only seemed fair that you would help me plan my wedding.
Right. No, I think it is like
but I wonder if they talked about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I was going to say is the finance business seems to be well off, and we don't know how well off the wedding planning business is. Like, is she brand new at it? Because, like, I know when I was in my first 2 years of, business, I'm like, I gotta charge. I'm like borderline red here, And obviously, she knows her finances, because she does her bills, she does her accounting.
But I mean,
hopefully, she's taking that into consideration.
If she knew the finances, it would make sense if she's just like, oh, she's doing really well. Can you do mine?
Yeah, hopefully she would take that in consideration and not be like, okay, I know you only have $1,000, but I want 800 of that for doing this,
Yeah.
That would be
it's weird too because like it just makes me think more about the family dynamics and how much does that sister like the other one,
right?
Because you'd think I'd be like, oh my gosh, I would love to plan your wedding, but then it's also you think about family and all the stress that's involved there, and you're just all like, that actually sounds like a nightmare, doing something for family or friends. You would hope that it wouldn't be, but sometimes it's like worse than working with an actual client.
Exactly. Yeah. She's got 10% of her clientele as her own family. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
10% of my business is family and friends.
Yeah.
Yikes. So, interesting. Okay.
What's your viewpoint on doing stuff for like family and friends? Like you already say you're like, yeah, I'll do that stuff for free, but it's just not going to be like, it can't be all the time.
Yeah. No, I think...
Because some people would say, charge for what you're worth, and it's just like, doesn't matter if it's your family. Charge more, kind of thing where there's that viewpoint.
Yeah, honestly, I've struggled with that a little bit. I always give a really cheap deal or I do it absolutely for free. That's my, like, whether it's a friend, which it can get tough because, like, we have a large church family, and it's just like, okay, I got a lot of friends. So it depends on the situation. If someone, and also I do take into account how much people can pay. Like if there's an old widow who's like Social Security, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, well, I charge X amount.
How much is your Social Security? Yeah, it's going to be that much.
Yeah, right.
Hope you can afford food for the rest of the month.
I know. So like, and that would be like the worst thing to me if like someone paid me what they couldn't afford. I would not want to take it. I'm like, no. You know? And so there are things to consider.
Well, I'm also thinking maybe going more on the side of the wedding planning sister, and like maybe wasn't fair of her to assume that the sister would do that for free, but maybe the sister would like do something else for her. Be like, I can't plan your wedding, but maybe I could do X, Y, and Z or something. Because she's just all like, that's going to be a lot and can't afford that time or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe some sort of deal could have been worked out, but I think expectations were in different spots. Right. And also like thinking about, because I've made wedding cakes for 4 couples that were our friends. Mm-hmm. And I was always like afraid. Most of the time I was just like, oh my gosh, I would love to make your cake for free, like no charge. But then on the other side, I'm like, wedding cakes are incredibly stressful and the money is much appreciated. But there was like never a time where they were like, oh, okay, we won't pay you. Like they very much were like, I would love to pay you.
Yeah, what kind of friends and family do you have, right?
Yeah, they're all like, how much? And I'm all like, I don't know, whatever you want to pay me, kind of thing. And then I gladly take it. Actually, 5 couples. I did quite a few wedding cakes. Yeah. But yeah, it's a lot. It's so stressful. It's a lot of work, and the money is appreciated. But there was
to be
never.
Honest, you don't make much on wedding cakes. No. In case you didn't know, it takes like a week.
Yeah,
and
especially with the small kitchen and everything.
Like, at minimum wage, you'd be making more than making that cake.
Yeah, because it's like I think one of the cakes it was like $3.50.
Yeah.
And
it equals out to like $2.50.
It took like 3 days.
No, just kidding.
To
plus like how much product goes into that? I mean, it's like over $100, maybe $150 worth of butter and flour and sugar.
Well, and I did it because I like love my friends and I wanted to do something to bless them.
Right.
But like I was kind of, what was interesting is like there was never a time where they're like, oh, we totally want to take advantage of your free offer. They're like,
we nice want,
they're like, we want to pay you.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is so nice. Thank you. Because there was like a few of our friends where they're like, I know they didn't have very much money. And I was just like, I'll just do your cake for free. But they're all like, we want to pay you. I'm like, that's so kind. Thank you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Tricky business.
It is tricky. Family's tricky and friends, but I mean, she helped her with her finances when she first started her business. She states that, and then it kind of continued. And she's like, I didn't want her to fall into a rut of like doing things for free. And then she was looking forward. She's like, now's an opportunity for you to help me because I'm getting married now. Yeah. And it was just like, oh well, you need to pay for that. I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like. Yeah, it's tough. People in money, they get greedy. If I'm doing my landscaping business and I'm literally strapped, then I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do this for free. So I'm either not going to do the work or...
Or you're even so thoughtful enough to be like, let me find somebody who will do it for you.
Yeah, I get that.
You don't even leave people high and dry. You're all like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Here's somebody else that maybe could do it.
Yeah. But... there's been so many times where I've tried to find someone, hasn't worked out, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to leave them high and dry, so I do it anyway.
You're like,
like, you know what? Just let me do it.
But all of those treasures that you're storing up in heaven.
Oh, yeah, sure. If someone, let's just say someone, I did some work, because something I'll do a lot is just like, pay me what you can,
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, that's way less than I thought it was gonna be. But if
You're
they
like,
paid
here's
me
$50 here.
if they paid me what they could, then at the end of the day I'm like, awesome, I'm not gonna hold that, I was just gonna be like, thank you so much. And I never ever would, I mean, it like makes me cringe to make someone feel bad about anything like that.
Yeah.
If I'm like, oh, what? That's it? I would never do that because I'm so
That'd
wrong.
be terrible.
Yeah.
Well, so then like there's the heart place of when you like, what does true giving look
Yeah.
like? It's the giving without expecting anything in return.
Oh,
and
that's
people,
that's a Bible verse.
yeah,
Give and expect nothing in return. So
which people, the world especially, like struggles with because
Mhm.
people are all like, oh, remember all those times I
Yeah.
picked you up in my car?
yeah.
I'm cashing in.
Yeah.
Do this thing for me, And it's easy to make doing good things transactional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's actually, man, there's a great passage. That was a perfect one to pull out because I think in that same area, Jesus is actually talking. He's like, it's more blessed to give than to receive.
Mm-hmm.
And when we think about that, it's just like, well, how's that true? It's just like, have you ever sacrificed for anything and then given that to somebody? And the feeling that you get, you're
knowing
like, oh
that
man,
you would
I
get
actually
nothing.
helped them in when they really needed it. It's just like,
Yeah.
that is a bigger blessing than if someone had handed you $500. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
sweet. But it's like, this is way different.
Yeah.
So there is that.
The true giving of like, you're not going to get anything back from this person. And like, that's hard to do because you instantly want to be like, oh, we're always like exchanging with people. So it's like, oh, I was nice to you. You were nice to me. This is a great relationship. But then you have someone where, God's just like, love your enemies. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's just all like, well, that means that I'm not getting that transactional time with that person where I say something nice and then they hate me. And it's just like, well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And same
yeah.
with giving.
Yeah, so what kind of person do you want to be? And Jesus lays out two people. He's like, if you lend to those from whom you hope to receive back, right? Which is exactly what this lady's doing. She's just like, yeah, I have a lot of my clients that are friends and family, but they always pay in one way or another. Either it's money or it's like
Food.
what is that? Bargaining.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have one free client. That's my sister. And then she was just like, she came in and she's just like, okay, now it's your turn.
Yeah. She's like,
know?
all right, I'm cashing in.
And then so Jesus is like, what credit is that to you? For even sinners lend to sinners in order to receive just as much back. And it's just like, I don't know. Do you want Jesus to be like, yeah, you know what you're acting like? You're acting like a sinner. Because you're like, you are giving, but you're not giving with no expectation of getting it back.
Sacrificial giving.
So there is that. That principle really should govern how you do things. I love to do free work. There's a number of people that I do things for free, and that's fine. I really, really like that. It's more like, I don't know, it could be soul sucking to just do your business for just business straight across the board. If you're able, you're like, I have food for today, I have gas in the tank, I'm richer than 90% of the population worldwide, even though I don't have savings, like cash flow wise, we have more money than 90% of the world.
Yeah.
And it's just like, hey, I have the margin to help somebody, and that's so important. And it's just like, greed is terrible. It's one of the most destructive sins in your life. So while this doesn't seem like a big deal, it's just like there's a heart issue maybe in there to be like, oh my gosh, she wouldn't do this for free. I'm going to cut her out.
Yeah.
And okay, one last thing. She was using the being in the wedding party as leverage.
Chip,
I find a huge problem with that. It's just like, oh, you're not a maid of honor, or you're not a bridesmaid anymore.
Also,
you're just an attendant.
Being the wedding planner and a bridesmaid.
Yeah, it's a lot of work anyway.
That's so much work. I thought like being the person that brings the cake and being a bridesmaid was really hard.
I know. I think you were like, I'm never doing that again.
I'm all like,
either I'm the cake maker or I'm in the
yeah.
party.
I either show up and drop off the cake and not have to be like, okay, you need to be over here now. I'm like,
yeah, that was stressful.
It was a lot.
Okay, am I the a-hole for ordering pizza at my friend's wedding because there was no food? So this is a story from a guy's perspective, and it's obviously about his stomach. So that's just a guy's perspective.
Stereotypes.
Me and my wife were invited to my friend's wedding. The wedding was going to have about 70 people, with mostly family. When we got there, we were seated at a table with some other people, nice people. Oh. And we mingled well and had a good time chatting. The wedding was also quite nice with both my friend and his new wife. We're super, super happy. After the ceremony, every table got 2 bottles of wine, bread and butter. Hey, bread and butter is awesome. And there was also an open bar. So we started to have a few drinks, and when the food came out, it looked really good. And the food was set up for a buffet. I bet it was all gone by the time we got over there. I was half buzzed and looking forward to getting some food in my belly. When it was time to eat, every few tables at a time were going to be called, which is fine. Okay, we've been a part of that kind of deal.
It sucks.
Yeah, you're always the last one. Anyway, the first few tables were called were understandably the family on both sides, because these are just friends. Then the rest of the rest of the tables were called, and the problem was that the family members, his in-laws, were larger people. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I don't shame people for how much they eat, but I noticed the helpings of food that they had while I was patiently waiting for us to be called. And I also noticed that they went for seconds before all the that's not right. You're supposed to get one go. But anyway, they went for seconds before all the tables were called, and nobody stopped them. Well, that's messed up.
Oh, man.
I didn't say anything, though I thought it was rude, and I just assumed there was a lot of food. To my surprise, by the time we were called, there was nothing left. I asked if there was more coming out, and apparently that already occurred. So, man, 2 restocks already. We grabbed what little we could and went back to sit down and ate the scraps. Does that say scarps?
Scarps. Yeah, it does. I think you meant scraps.
Oh, okay.
Scarps.
Scarps.
I got all
this
the
is a British
scarps.
term or something. We were all still pretty hungry and a bit angry, so we kind of bashed talking that the first tables had eaten all the food. Someone mentioned that we could go for some pizza, and then I had the drunken idea of ordering some. And whoops. So that is what we did. We all pitched in and ordered 4 large pizzas with some chicken wings and from a local pizza joint close to the venue, so it didn't take too long to be delivered. I met the guy outside and brought the pizzas to our table, and we started eating. Some of the other tables notices he's now jealous. The other people noticed that there was pizza and asked where the pizza had come from. Apparently, some of the other tables close to us also didn't get any food.
Oh.
So we shared some. Oh, that's good. I'm glad they were like, we'll get your own pizza.
Yeah.
So, because some commotion, this caused some commotion. Because other people were looking for and asking the wedding party where the pizza was. I guess there were others that didn't get any food. Yeah, here you kind of said that. Man, how many tables didn't get food? Like, this is crazy.
That is really crazy.
No,
First of all, you should just
take a head count.
Yeah. I'm like, that was like my first thoughts. I'm like, make sure there's enough food for your guests.
Yeah. I mean,
and make sure don't take like 2 helpings before everybody else gets some.
Either the family like ate an inordinate amount of food, or there was a lot of family, or they just didn't plan that well. They didn't have enough.
I feel like
for
they
as many
probably just
people there
didn't
were.
plan it well, because like most of the time after the wedding, the caterers just all like, yeah, there's a bunch of extra food left. Here, take it, kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Now this story is weird. I don't know what's going on here. We did share with anyone who asked us. There's only 4 pizzas, That's not
How
very
many people are there? That
There's
are just all
77
like,
people.
Oh,
70 people.
Is that some food?
Yeah. Okay. 4 pizzas isn't going to go very far. And 70 people isn't a super large venue.
No.
Either.
And that's so sad that people are all like, oh, is that food? Can I have some?
My friend came to me and asked why I had ordered the food. His bride was not happy about it. It ruined the aesthetics, I guess. Okay, yeah, okay, whatever. So I told him that we didn't get to eat and that the food ran out long before our table was called, and we were really hungry. He then asked why we didn't just step out and eat and then come back. Though annoyed about that, I respectfully explained to him that we were all drinking on an empty stomach and that it probably wasn't the best idea to have drunk people walking around looking for food. I didn't think he liked that, but went back to his bride, who was glaring at us. Like, what were we supposed to do? Starve? This wasn't the end, though. Oh boy!
Oh
yeah,
my
that was
gosh.
just the first couple paragraphs.
That's
Everybody, There's more coming.
nuts already. Like, oh my gosh.
As we were finished eating, one of the in-laws came to our table and asked where the pizza had come from. Oh no, what's going to happen? Are they going to order more? Or this is where I may be the a-hole. There were 2 slices left. I knew that he was eyeing them. I asked the other people at my table if they wanted one. Everyone declined. This guy then said he'd have one. I then took the 2 slices and put them on my plate and started eating them.
Oh my
man.
gosh.
Then looked at him. Oh, wait. Real quick pause. The reason he's upset is this is one of the in-laws that apparently were the first to go get food.
Yeah.
They already had seconds. So he's like, the guy's like looking at his piece of pizza and he's just like, heck no, you had 2 helpings.
Well, I also had another thought about like the in-laws, and it's like if they were helping with all of the like preparations and stuff, they may not have eaten that entire day.
Yeah, they could have been there the whole day. Yeah.
And then that was the only food that was there for that day, because I know that happens too.
Yeah.
On a wedding day.
Okay. So he put the 2 slices on his plate, then started eating them, then looked at him and said something like, no, you and everyone at your table had way more than your fair share at the buffet and ate it all. This is the reason that we ordered food in the first place. And now you have the nerve to ask us to share? His face went red and he returned to his table.
That's so mean.
That's really mean. There was a lot of discussion going on there. Then they were all looking back at us with daggers, and the bride looked even more ticked off at us. Hey, look, whatever you do, don't ruin the bride's good time. Just like, this is a little ridiculous. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't be a source of commotion.
I know, they're being like a wedding crasher.
Yeah, seriously. They're probably just like hanging out, laughing, like drinking, eating pizza, and they're like, that one table over there is the center of attention. The bride looked even more ticked off at us. She had a bit of an argument with my friend. He eventually came back to tell us we had to leave. Oof. I didn't mean to start any problems, so me and my wife called the cab and we left. Oh, okay. So that was the end of that, but the story's not over.
Oh, gosh.
He called me a few days later. I think this is taking it too far. And we had a long talk. I explained my perspective, and he agreed that his in-laws were really rude for eating all the food and leaving most of the other guests with very little. A lot of people actually complained to him about it. Everyone was drinking, thinking that there would be food, and they were all disappointed. He was upset with his in-laws because he told them how many guests there would be and to order the food for that many people. Okay, so the in-laws were in charge of the buffet. That might have been why they had the liberty of eating seconds. They're like, we paid for this food. Anyway.
They didn't pay for enough.
No. He also saw how much they were taking, but assumed that they had ordered enough. He was wrong. He brought up this with his wife, and she said that apparently because of the in-laws paid for the alcohol and the food, they felt entitled to eat whatever they wanted. Well, I think you can, but make sure you have enough food for everybody else. Not be like,
so like I'm eating all of the other guests' food because I paid for this.
Yeah,
table, like what? How many tables didn't get to eat?
Yeah, that was
which also is crazy because I'm like, how much food were you eating to take? Like 3, I'm like, how many people were at a table? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, 70 isn't a crazy number. It's not like you had like 350 people there. How many people did we have at our wedding? We had like 200, didn't we? Or 150? And there was enough food for everybody, right? I mean,
yeah.
He brought this up with his wife, and she said apparently because the in-laws paid for alcohol and food that they felt entitled to eat whatever they wanted. She was really mad at them and reamed them out for tainting her special day. He also said that a lot of the other non-family guests started to leave soon after we left because they were too hungry. They still had fun celebrations, but it did kind of put a damper on the special day. Out of 70 people, about 30 left.
30 left. So they ate 30 plus amount portions. That's nuts. How many of them were there?
So they ordered roughly enough food for like 50 or less, and there was 70 people, or 40 or less. That's terrible. That's stupid.
Dude.
I mean, honestly, in a buffet style, you should have enough for anyone to get seconds. So if you're like, okay, so you're not ordering 40 portions.
Yeah.
You know, you're ordering like 120 or 40, you know. Okay, I also found out that the guy who came to our table was his father-in-law. Oops.
Oh,
so the wife's dad.
Oh, no.
Father-in-law was really embarrassed by what I said to him. He felt pretty bad when he found out close to half of the guests didn't get to eat and left early. That would feel really bad. The worst feeling on the planet, I will tell you, is when you like eat seconds or something and you realize you just ate someone else's first.
Oh my god.
Like nothing makes me want to vomit more than that, to be like, I am so sorry. But I like when rest. If I was the father-in-law, I would have been like, everybody, let me make a quick announcement. These guys have the right idea because they got pizza. I'm going to order a bunch of pizzas.
Yeah.
Just stay put. We'll get you taken care of.
If like especially if all the guests were just like, oh, where'd that pizza come from? And then they're blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'd be like, let's order some pizza. Oh, I feel so bad.
That's so terrible.
That makes, I have secondhand embarrassment. Like I'm all like, oh, he must have felt awful.
That's really sad. Okay. Cry tears.
I'm just imagining his face. He's all embarrassed and ashamed.
Yeah. One other thing though, because he knew that there was no more food left, and then he went over and was eyeballing the other guy's pizza. So how bad did he really feel? He's just like, well, I feel bad. You gonna eat that?
well, I'm confused. Like, yeah,
because at this point there was no more food. They had gotten what was left. They were hungry, and then they were like, let's order pizza.
Well, and all these people were drunk too. I don't know.
Yeah, see, alcohol.
They weren't firing on all cylinders.
Alcohol and family's the worst thing.
And weddings.
Yeah, seriously. Okay. So anyway, this is really sad.
More.
Yes.
I was gonna say you should tell the story about the mousse, the chocolate mousse that your sister made.
Oh. Okay, so there's a story about some chocolate mousse in my past. So my sister, she was kind of like you in your family. She made all the desserts for her family. Yeah. And then my sister made most of the desserts for our family. Anyway, and so it was dessert time. We all got up, we'd grab plates, and we were putting the stuff. And then I had my plate of mousse. And then, first of all, I don't like mousse. I don't know why I was eating it because I don't really like it. But I grabbed it and then I was like,
well, you're eating it because your sister made it.
I was like, it's sweet. Yeah. None of that crossed my mind.
Thank you. I love it.
Yeah, it's my least favorite. It was like chocolate mousse. I don't like mousses most of the time. So it was like kind of crust. Like a pie crust, and then like it held mousse in it. I don't know. Anyway, whatever the heck that is called. I was standing there. My sister turned around with her plate in her hand, and she was the one who made the food. Anyway, she hit me in the head with the glass plate. It went kong, and it hit me really hard. And then I dropped my plate, and then it like landed face down, and it was all over the place. And I was crying because like it really hurt, but I was also like kind of like bewildered. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, and then so my mom was like cuddling me on the couch while I was like, and then
because you got an head injury.
Yeah, and then my sister came over and was just like, oh, here you go, and I was like, oh, thanks. Anyway, and so I ate it, and then I went to take my dish back to the sink, and then my sister was like licking the spoon, and I was just like, "Oh, where's yours?" She's just like, "Oh, well, I gave you mine because I destroyed yours," and I felt so bad. Like I was like, "I ate yours," and I felt like vomiting because I was like, I didn't even like this food.
Oh, but
anyway,
she gave up hers to give you some.
I know. I felt literally. Like, to this day, she probably doesn't even remember that, but to this day, I'm like, Anyway, so that's my story of
There's
eating somebody
been
else's food.
a few times where I've been made to feel bad about like eating, and then they're like, I can't believe you've eaten, blah, blah, blah. You know, especially like in my family. There's been like a couple of times where, you know, our family was really poor, and so it was the other families, and then they would be the ones buying the pizza for everybody, and they wouldn't buy very much. And so as a kid, I have no idea what's going on. I'm like,
sweet, 2 pieces of pizza.
And yeah, I got like 2 pieces of pizza, and then it was just all like, so and so didn't get any because you had 2 pieces.
Whoa.
And it was like, ugh. You know, and I'm all like, I don't know, 8 years old.
Yeah.
And it was just all like, ugh. And there's been like a lot of incidences that I can think back to where it was like that kind of thing. It's just all like, oh, so-and-so didn't get any. It's like, well, you also didn't order very many pizzas. And it was sucked because it's like, well, my family couldn't chip in for the pizzas either. And so it's like you feel doubly bad because you're all like, oh. And then it would, you know, come to a point where I was just like, I just won't have anything, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's...
So, like, hearing him, I'm just like, oh, no.
If you're organized, you can avoid a lot of, like, people feeling shame. Because it's just like, in that situation, did they order enough pizza for everybody? If they didn't, it's just like, communicate that or something. Or just, like, don't do that in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's terrible. It's just like, if you have a limited amount, do a head count and be like, by the way, everybody... 2 pieces or 1 piece. Like, we accidentally didn't order enough. Everybody take 1 piece, you know? And then you don't have to be like, blah, 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 and some poor little child is just like, oh.
Well, and I also think, like, because of those kinds of situations, or at least I could say for myself, has made me a generous person. Because I'm just all like, how many people are there? I'll order 3 times the normal amount just to make sure that everybody has enough. It's like, don't feel bad. Like, you know, some people that are like, oh, do you want me to like chip in? I'm like, no, don't give me anything. I want you to have this pizza, no strings attached. You're fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People are like, oh, okay. And I'm all like, eat that pizza. Have a whole pizza to yourself.
Yeah. That is the one thing where hard things tend to form your character the most. And so if you felt horrible, crippling shame about eating too much and taking someone else's, then it should form your character into, then you think about those kinds of things. And you're like, hey, how many people are there? Okay, I'm going to make sure I ordered enough to feed everybody. Especially if you're like hosting a party. It's just like you are responsible for making sure everybody has a good time. You're the last person. The host is the last in line. So anyway, okay. So that was the original one. He said, so am I the a-hole for this situation? Right.
We'll finish the post and talk about it.
Okay. Edit on the original post. My goodness, I didn't think I was going to have this kind of response at all. So many comments. I went through a good chunk of the messages and thought it would be easier to address the common ones. So here's the first common one. Okay. Point number 1. The only reason I ordered pizza was because I was drinking. All I had eaten that day was a sandwich for my lunch and some bread that was on the table. So I needed something more substantial in my stomach so I wouldn't get sick. So no, I couldn't wait it out for a few hours. I guess that was the comments. People were, can you just wait? I wasn't the only person drinking either because the open bar was booming. Yeah, I bet. However, I guess I could have held back on the drinking a bit until the food came out. Those saying, okay, here's number 2. Those saying I was fat shaming the father-in-law, I'm going to have to disagree. I didn't say anything to him about his body. I was only being honest with him that why I had to order food. I don't judge people based on looks and accept everyone for who they are as they are. I can't judge a book by its cover, so I judge people based on their actions. If you knew me, you would see that my friend group ranges from basic people to freaks and weirdos. LOL. In fact, a good friend of mine, nicknamed Crusher because he's a big dude, absolutely hilarious and is super fun to hang out with. Okay, so he's just like, hey, I'm not fat shaming. I have a fat friend.
I have a fat friend. His name's Crusher.
You named him Crusher? It's just fat shaming.
Is he okay with this?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. 3, this is not AI generated post. LOL. My intelligence may be limited, but there's nothing artificial about it. Okay.
Okay.
Weird.
People are AI crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get that. People want authenticity. So
yeah.
Number 4, the buffet was at my friend's request. He loves buffets, and this was his added touch to the wedding. He also chose the dishes. I know that it is not common for weddings to have buffets, but that's what he wanted. Thanks to everyone for your comments. I will continue to read them and update this thread accordingly. Okay.
Oh.
Hey, guys.
Wait, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Let's talk about the original post before you read the update.
Okay. Didn't we
Is
already
he
do-
the...
Oh.
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about it intermingled within the post.
So is he the a-hole, basically? Is that what you're going to
I would say kind of yes.
What about?
In his attitude. It's one thing to order pizza because you're hungry. It's another thing to shame the father-in-law. Yes, it was true, but I also think he did it in such a way that I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
And I mean, was he like reading into the father-in-law wanting the pieces? Because I can't remember if the father-in-law actually asked for them or not.
No, he did. He said, I would
okay.
like one.
Well, maybe he was just like, okay, taking into account that everyone is drunk. He's probably like, oh, pizzas. Oh, let me join in the fun over here. I don't know
Yeah.
if that was
Yeah,
maybe his thoughts.
You can take a situation and make it a funny situation.
Yeah. 'Cause
without
it's like,
being like
even the
a
father-in-law had one of our slices of pizza because blah, 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 you know, because I don't know if the bride had like talked to her dad about it or whatever, because, you know, the bride was visibly upset that there was pizza
He
boxes
could've
at
just
her wedding.
He could have been the instrument of making sure there was more food, because if the father-in-law comes over, and he could have just asked him, he's just like, oh, you're one of the bridal party? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, okay, do you know who was providing the food? And he'd be like, oh, yeah, we were. Our family was. And he'd be like, oh, okay, I think a lot of people didn't get to eat. Is there some way we can maybe order some more pizzas, because here, you want a slice? It's really good, and that kind of thing. He could have been an instrument for change instead of being like, you've eaten more than your fair share.
Instead of being all like, let me stick it to the man, kind of thing. He could have been like, let me be a problem solver. It's like, first of all, the in-law should have ordered enough food.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
But then again, problem solving. There isn't enough food. People are ordering pizzas. As the people that are supposed to be providing the food, let's order more pizzas for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing is he wouldn't give, now this is kind of silly, but he wouldn't give his father-in-law one slice of pizza. He's had his booze. He was supposed to get some of his food.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, the father-in-law was actually paying for everything that you were in attendance for. Yeah. So, I mean, who's being
especially
more
alcohol is way more expensive than pizzas.
I know. So it's just like, hey, if the father-in-law wants a piece of your pizza, I mean, I would hand it over. I mean, it's just like, I wouldn't make a big deal of it.
Yeah, you're a nice guy.
Yeah, but that being said, I would totally want food. So I don't think he was wrong to order the pizzas in the first place.
I keep talking about pizza, and I'm like, pizza sounds awesome.
That's funny.
Anyways, we're like, pizza. I'm like, pizza.
Yeah. Random question. What's your favorite pizza joint?
Yes,
throw it in the comments.
Tell us.
Because what's our favorite? I like
Coconut Kenny's.
That's a local joint around here.
Yeah.
We've been eating that somewhat recently. It's pretty good.
I like it. Yeah. But I do love Domino's. The only thing is it makes my face break out really bad, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
Makes me feel gross after.
Yeah. So, okay. We finished with that. I think he was...
Update.
Yeah. And, okay, the very situation turned into something, and I get he couldn't maybe control that. However, the bride was like, you did kind of ruin the special day. So, like, you created such a commotion that you were kind of a cause of some issues. So, I find a bit of a problem with that.
He did make it worse than maybe it should have been. It was kind of like, we want you to know that you didn't provide food for us pizza boxes.
Yeah.
And the bride's just all like, my wedding.
Yeah. So.
Because if I saw a greasy pizza box at my wedding, I'd be like, get that thing out of here. But I also had enough food at my wedding, so I hope. I assume I did. I'm pretty sure we did. No one complained.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's move on to so we got the edit, and then now is the first update. Hey guys, I already have an update. First, I never stated when the wedding happened. The wedding was the week of July 20. Okay, the week of July 20.
Okay.
My friend just stopped by for a little bit. Apparently, his wife was more upset than I initially said. Yikes, man, this is later? Jeez.
Dang.
Okay. Let things die. Okay. But not at me, toward her family. Okay, I get that. He also said she wanted to apologize for booting me. Oh yeah, they did.
Oh, that's right. They asked him to leave, which he also then did just leave.
Yeah,
which is I thought was great.
Yeah. So the father-in-law feels really bad. He's going to step up and fix the situation. He's going to throw an after-wedding shindig. LOL, his words. Everyone who was at the wedding will be invited, including me, my wife, and some additional people. They are thinking about 100 guests. So they're more
even
people.
Bigger party.
Father-in-law also promised that there would be an assortment of food. After more...
Well, I mean, right here, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The father-in-law's
Way
just
to
like,
yeah. So his embarrassment turned him into a better person.
What doesn't kill you makes you strong.
I know, right? More than enough for everyone, plus an army, LOL. He is also wanting to personally let me know that there will be 50 large pizzas. Oh my gosh, how many? For 100 people, 50 large pizzas?
That's plenty.
Is
That's
he being
perfect.
passive-aggressive at this point?
No, I think he's being kind and generous. I do not take this as
half a pizza
passive-aggressive.
for everybody. For 100 guests and 50 pizzas. Okay. From the same joint that I ordered from.
Honestly, this makes me think of like, I'm imagining the fiddler on the roof guy who's just all like 50 pizzas for everybody.
This is his way of adding some humor into the situation. I think it's pretty funny. LOL. Man, this guy's used LOL all the time.
Lol.
He's also going to hire a DJ or a live band, possibly have some fireworks and arrange some other events like axe throwing. Awesome.
Oh, what? This
And
sounds
like
like
a
an awesome party.
You know, this guy sounds like he has a bunch of money. Like he should order enough pizza in the first, or enough food in the first place. But whatever.
Place.
Bad event.
It was probably just an oversight.
Yeah. And a bonfire. This actually sounds like it's going to be a real fun time. The only difference is it will be BYOB. So bring your own beer. So, see, that's where it's coming from. He's not spending so much money on alcohol. That's how he's got the extra Skrilla. Which is no big deal. Father-in-law is pulling in a favor from a friend who owns a farm.
Oh.
And the farm has 2 guest houses and a main house as well. Has plenty of space outside. About 50 people can be squeezed in between the 3 houses. So he's going to encourage people to bring RVs. I have one. Campers and tents. Nothing is official yet, but they are going to be holding a shindig around mid-August. Okay. This might be why there's another update coming.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Sounds like it's going to be a blast. I will update you all when I can. That's the end of the update.
Not only does it, like, that's really cool because he wants to make it up to the guests. And I really feel like this is like, he wants to make it up to his daughter too. Because he was kind of saying that the daughter was like really upset that happened.
Yeah.
And the dad's just all like, a party, 50 pizzas.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm all like, that's great.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun time. How do I go?
So we'll see what happens.
I want to go.
Okay. So second update.
Ooh.
Super sorry for not updating sooner. I meant to update, but I'm gonna be a dad. Whoa! Yay! So here's the update. After the wedding fiasco, we got the invites from my friend's father-in-law to the after-wedding shindig. It took. Sorry, I just scrolled. It took a while, so I honestly thought that it was a joke at first. But my friend, the groom, who dropped them off, said that it's going to be happening. Just took a while to organize it. Sounds like it. The invites mentioned food and drinks and activities and lots of pizza. I wasn't sure what to expect, but my wife and I decided to go. It was in mid-September. The weather was absolutely perfect with clear skies and warm and a bit breezy. When we arrived, we saw the setup and was absolutely blown away. The event was this massive farm owned by a friend of the father-in-law's. There were RVs and campers and tents scattered everywhere. It looked like some kind of mini music festival.
Dang.
The main house and the 2 guest houses were open for people who didn't want to camp, and the yard was filled with picnic tables and lawn games and a huge bonfire pit. As soon as we parked, the father-in-law greeted us. He was wearing this ridiculously loud Hawaiian shirt with sunglasses, grinning like he had won the lottery, LOL. He shook my hand and said, "I'm glad you're here. There's plenty of food this time."
Aww.
I couldn't help
this
but
poor
laugh.
guy, he's just all like, there's plenty of food this time.
Yeah, he's still embarrassed about this.
embarrassed.
Okay, the food setup was insane. There were
Oh my
long
gosh.
tables covered with barbecue and all the sides, dessert, and front and center, a pyramid of pizza boxes. LOL, I'm not kidding. There had to be at least 50.
Oh, why
large
didn't he
pizza
give us
boxes.
pictures?
He should have. That would have been awesome.
Oh,
From the same place that I had ordered the wedding. Each box had a sticker on it, said Shindig Special on it. Everyone was already joking about it. People started showing up in droves. A lot of people brought their own coolers full of beer since there was BYOB. The others even joined in the pizza theme. LOL. Someone even brought a pizza print dress.
oh my gosh.
Another guy
This
was
guy
wearing a pizza-shaped hat.
oh my gosh, it became like a legend.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Freaking lore.
And there were pizza cookies on top of the dessert table. This was hilarious. The vibe
my gosh.
was lighthearted and fun, and honestly, it was way better atmosphere than the wedding. So there was so much going on: the axe throwing, cornhole, live music, and even some fireworks that were set up for later. The father-in-law was wandering around, handing out slices of pizza like they were his own personal mission to make sure that
oh
no
my
one went
gosh,
hungry.
that's so funny.
My friend, the groom, found me and pulled me aside. He had a beer in one hand and slapped me on the back with the other. He thanked me and told me if I hadn't ordered the pizzas, we probably wouldn't be here right now. As the day went on, everyone seemed to be having a blast. The bride even gave a little speech. She thanked everyone for coming, then pointed to me and said, "Special thanks to the guy who turned a wedding mishap into a shindig we'll never forget." People laughed and clapped. I felt a little embarrassed, but also kind of proud.
He's all, yeah, you're welcome.
I know, right? The night ended with lots of fireworks and everyone gathered around the bonfire, roasting marshmallows and sausages. People were drinking and singing and telling stories. It felt like a proper celebration. And I couldn't help but think this is how a wedding should have been. Father-in-law came up to me near the end of the night with a slice of pizza on their plate. He said he wasn't sure how to make up for the mess that they had made at the wedding, but thought this did the trick. I shook his hand and smiled and said that this party was a hit. All in all, the shindig turned out into one of the most memorable events I had ever been to. Everyone left full, happy, and plenty of stories to tell. It's funny how a simple thing like ordering pizza at a wedding can turn into this big deal. But hey, I guess that's just how life goes sometimes. That's the update, guys. Just wanted to thank everyone for the comment, and actually never thought this post would blow up like this. On another note, my baby's due in May, and I'm pretty sure that this night of the shindig, he or she was conceived. Whoa, wink, wink. And that's it. Okay.
Wow.
That was
I want to be a part of that party. That sounds great.
right on. Yeah, that's super funny that they turned it
I'm
into
also
such
thinking,
it's practically a pizza mascot.
I was also
and
like
everything.
imagining like a total Godfather moment. He's just all like, oh, dishonor on my family. I got to throw a big party.
I know, right?
He's all like, pizza. candy, whatever you want. Pizza shaped cookies. I think it's so funny that it became this little like, haha, pizza dress, pizza hat, kind of thing.
Yeah, that was
It
awesome.
became like
Pizza
a joke.
cookies. Okay, that was a long. I feel
The
like
father-in-law sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, he sounds pretty cool. Pretty cool. Awesome. Well, there we go. I think we'll see. Very rarely does a Reddit end in like
divorce.
Everybody having and no divorce, but everybody having a good time.
Everyone had a good time and a baby.
Yeah. Everybody had a baby. Okay.
Well, pizza baby.
Oh my gosh. They should have named him like pepperoni or something.
Oh my gosh, that'd be terrible.
Okay, we're to number 3. And in 2, there wasn't even a hint of divorce. But sadly, Reddit is living up to their expectations. What's this one?
My husband said I ruined our wedding photos and now I want to leave him. Am I overreacting? Me, a 33-year-old female, and my husband, 32 male, is on the spectrum and has other mental health concerns. He's often too blunt about things, but at times it comes off as cruelty. We have 2 children under 2, and I am currently at home on maternity leave with our second. His mental health has deteriorated since we had children. We always intended to have children, but he had no idea what it entailed, and he has not been capable of caring for either of our children. I worked more than full time through both pregnancies in order to get adequate maternity leave in my country or county. My husband works full time and spends the rest of his time on his computer investing in hobbies, preparing for his job, and any side gigs he says are helping support us. My mat leave and savings pay for everything but rent and utilities for our children. My husband thinks he is generous for giving me $50 once or twice a month and often makes a show of it in front of others. I'm often reduced to the sad stereotypical mother who has to ask her husband to take a shower so he'll watch the kids. This is also the longest amount of time I would trust him with them, as he has done multiple dangerous things with our kids and then tried to escape any blame with excuses. Recently, he left our newly crawling youngest sitting on a high couch next to a hard tile floor while I was busy with our oldest in the other room. When I got upset with him about it, he laughed it off and that he had forgot she was there. There have also been issues with his leaving harmful tools and medication accessible to the kids. I've written him lists and tried to handhold him through this, but he has no patience and creates a chaotic environment when he is stressed. I end up doing everything for our kids with some help from grandparents and my close relatives. Most days he will be in the presence of our children for less than an hour, and usually those days end up being easier for me. When he is around, he judges what I do and nags me when our babies are hanging out in diapers after being chased instead of being fully dressed. The house is messy after a day at home, or the house stinks from me changing poops all day. I'm potty training our youngest, and he wants to punish our youngest for having accidents while I want to encourage rather than traumatize. After getting our children fully ready for a day out with my husband's family, including preparing for the family event with no input from husband as usual, I loaded the car with everything, including the children. My husband came and sat in the driver's side of the car, and that was it. We headed out, and he started talking at me about his plans for his future. I was just trying to appreciate the quiet car ride where the children are finally napping. I finally add something about what I see for my future. I used to be a fitness instructor, and I enjoyed it very much. Since having 2 children, I have not been able to take care of myself the way I would want to. My husband said he would like me to come to the gym with him. He goes 3 times a week at least. I remind him that me taking care of the kids allows him to do things like go to the gym that often, so we can't really go together for the most part. I barely get out of the garage to do a half-hour workout when the babysitter is here or when the children are both sleeping in the middle of the night. My husband says I am doing good. He says that I look a lot better than I did after our first child and mentions our wedding. We got pregnant by accident after we were engaged and rushed to get married when I was only 3 months postpartum, so we wouldn't lose a hefty venue deposit. As a result, I had to give up a lot of expectations about my wedding day. I had to get a new dress last minute, also because I didn't know bridal sizing was smaller. But despite that, I managed to feel beautiful, albeit with the help of some professional makeup and hair artists. I even look back at the photos of some of the most beautiful photos I have of myself. I asked my husband what he means by mentioning our wedding because I felt beautiful despite having just had a baby. I felt like we made most of it despite all the hardship. He says that I was way bigger then He says I was way bigger then and that my weight really wrecked those photos. I tell him to stop talking and that he shouldn't say that about anyone, especially not his wife who had recently had his baby. He continues to talk, saying that we really should have gotten the photos done earlier before I started showing because the photos were ruined. I have felt numb to him since then. I think I am done. Is this a shallow reason to stop trying? He has since tried to apologize, but I feel like this undermined our relationship. I remember him crying at our wedding when he saw me and being so happy. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's so mean. He's just like, oh man, if only you weren't if only you weren't holding my child in your stomach, that day would have been perfect. It's like,
yeah. Well, there's a little bit of reality that they should have gotten married before they started sleeping together, and that would have been a problem. But
true.
So there's that. Just wait till you're married because that is the right thing to do. However, okay, so it sounds like she started off by saying he's on the spectrum. So whatever that means for mental concern or mental health.
I think autistic.
Yeah, could be. There's, I don't know. Yeah, some kind of mental thing because people have different kinds. There's a lot of different kinds.
I don't know. Everyone has problems.
I personally have a problem with the spectrum. Okay, so, whatever. Anyway, so he comes off too blunt. Yeah, that does sound like someone who's maybe autistic or something like that. However, I will say that back in history, I don't know they updated what the spectrum includes. So if you go back into the 80s, it was like, a very low number. I can't remember. I don't want to say the number because I'm not 100% sure what it was. But after they updated what the spectrum includes, it was 800 times more people the next year who had autism. And I'm like, okay, hold on a second. Like now autism is so broad that
everyone has
you meet someone and it's almost like a TikTok trend. So it's like, I have autism, and it's just like, okay,
which belittles the people who actually do have autism.
So that is the biggest thing is the people who have it, it's like they're like, oh great, guess it is, everybody has it now it's just a normal thing. So that I feel like there are things that end up into like basically Instagram or TikTok trends that like ADHD. How many women do you know who don't have ADHD according to TikTok and Instagram?
Apparently. Everyone has ADHD. Everyone is autistic.
Yeah, exactly. The microplastics are doing it all. Okay.
Conspiracy.
Okay, so that being said, I don't know whether he legitimately I don't know. Anyway, he sounds like he does have a few issues, but I think there's times in marriage, probably certainly parenting, where there just needs to be, it sounds like they don't have a proper husband-wife relationship. No. Like in that they are devoting time to each other. I get when you add kids into it, it's a lot easier to be distracted, but absolutely that's not a reason that you should not continue pouring into your husband-wife relationship. It takes so much work. We don't even have kids and it's hard for us. We have to put a lot of care and attention into each other. And if you don't do that, I don't care if you have 10 kids or no kids, your marriage is going to go down the tubes. So you can tell how bitter she is with all of these things. Just as like one thing after another. And it sounds like she's totally on a different page than he is.
It's really sad because like this is such a like typical story of a mom too, where she's just all like, I can't even trust the dad with the kids for me to be able to take a shower because like I think about the person who does something poorly because they don't want to do it. And I'm like, these are your children.
Yeah, you need to grow up. I mean, goodness gracious. For a guy,
it sounds
it's just
like he doesn't even really like them. I don't know.
yeah. Let me jump into the biblical model. A husband and a father is the leader in his family, according to the Bible. So that means whatever needs to be done, it's your responsibility first. So parenting, it's not mom is the parent and dad is the weird side person. It's like the dad is the foremost like decision maker and the person shouldering the most responsibility, and then the wife is obviously, you know, doing all that she can, you know, but she's got a hard job. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, every husband is going to have a hard job too if he's out making, you know, a living and providing and all that kind of stuff.
And I would
but it sounds
say
like she kind of still does that too, or something. She's like
being the like homemaker and not feeling loved by your husband makes homemaking super sad and super hard.
Yeah.
So like not having
tedious and monotonous, and
and especially if your husband's just all like, well, I'm taking care of myself. You know, and she's just like, can I like take a shower? And he's just like, I guess.
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah. So he does have a job, and she's like, my maternity leave and savings pay for everything but the rent and utilities. So yeah, I don't know. This is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
they're living. I could look at this and I'm like, they're living as individuals. They're not living as an actual married couple. Because I don't know if this is still like controversial or whatever, but like having one bank account, I think is something that is a good thing. I think having like this is my monies and them's is your monies kind of thing, especially if it doesn't seem even, like you should just make it a combined. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where it's just like weird because, well, the Bible says it's like the two shall become one. The two bank accounts shall become one bank account. You know what I mean? It's just all like, there is no your money, there's no my money. It should be this money is taking care of us, and this money will get us stuff that we want, but we just have to communicate with the other person.
Yeah.
You know, it's just all like, oh, I plan on saving our finances towards this thing that I really want. Be like, oh, okay, we'll work around that, blah, 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 you know. I don't know.
Yeah. And the fact that they're dipping into her savings too is not good. Yeah. So they need to have one bank account, and it needs to not be going down. It needs to be going up. So if he's making enough money for rent and utilities, that is not a well-paying job.
No.
Because... Yeah. And then everything else, she pays for everything else. And I'm like, dude, that's not going to work.
Groceries.
Your maternity leave's got to run out, by the way.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Their financial situation doesn't seem right. And then their household situation doesn't seem right. And their marriage relationship doesn't seem right.
Yeah. So I think she needs to be prepared to be very graceful. And he needs to change her ways, and she needs to be receptive of that. So, you know, it's easy to have bitterness, and she needs to dismiss all that.
Yeah.
But he definitely needs to change what he's doing. He's taking 3 times plus a week to go to the gym. It's just like, brother, you need to be taking those 3 times a week and looking for a better job.
Yeah. You need to be supporting your household.
Yeah. And you need to, I mean, even if you don't have a better job, okay, I get it, there's situations, but you're going to leave your wife home with the kids while you're just, hey, okay, I'm off to the gym, see you later. You know, he's
living as
like
an individual.
Guy, not
he's
a
just
father.
like, yeah, exactly. He's just all like, I want to live my life the way I want to. Glad you're here to take care of the consequences of our actions. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I'm like, that's super unfair.
What should she do?
Leave him. Divorce.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. I'm going to get on my soapbox.
Okay.
She should not divorce.
No.
This kind of hardship, while it's hard, is not a reason for divorce. It's a reason to come to him very seriously and be like,
have a good talk.
I demand us to have an extremely serious talk because you're betraying my trust. I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you are hurting my feelings because you're insulting my body.
Yeah.
And you're just acting horrible and talking. He's like, oh, my plans are this and my plan. I don't know. He's
talking about his future, not their future.
Yeah. I don't know. I think one thing though, she sounds like she's not talking to him about a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Like she's writing all these things down, but
Well,
nowhere
it
did
said
she
that
say
he
like she's
tried,
going
like,
to him and being
apologize.
like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he did try to apologize, but I would say like someone who's maybe, he's got some. He's not on the same level as like a normal person in interactions.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think what she needs to do is like be very explicit in. I don't want you to do this. I do want you to do this, and I need to be able to respect you. And here's what will make me respect you, and here's what will not make me respect you.
Yeah,
And so she maybe just needs to explain a few things that he's gonna be like, oh, okay, because she gets it and he doesn't. Like there's people who are on the spectrum, they don't get social situations.
Well, I was just
sometimes,
just thinking that. I was just all like, get a book or like talk to somebody on like how to, communicate with an autistic person, in a way that they would understand what you're trying to get across to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And maybe what about encouraging him to get with some other guys or something who can help him like learn how to be a man,
Yeah. That's a good thing. Like first of all, if this was a Christian couple, there should be a godly community around them, sharpening them, and
a pastor who's ready to be like, listen, buddy, you need to grow up.
You need to get a better job. You need to take care of your family.
Yeah.
So, like, your wife should not be shouldering the household by herself.
Yeah. Yeah. She's in the role of the leader. And that is not right.
No, and that's super hard for her too, because she's just all like, like that's not wearing her out.
Yeah, that's so sad. She's probably really tuckered.
Yeah, she's probably exhausted, frazzled, and she's just all like, and I mean, I can imagine she's a mother, and so she's just like, her body changed, and then she's just like, didn't maybe initially feel bad about that. And she's like, well, I would like to like spend time to go to the gym, and the husband's just all like, yeah, man, you look terrible, especially on our wedding day. And she's just like, what wonderful things to hear from my husband.
Yeah. Ugh, that's terrible.
Rude. Yeah. Well,
he needs Jesus.
He does need Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, like some sort of book or like finding other people who have like autistic partners and how, and
totally.
I'm just saying, like, I'm guessing he has autism.
Yeah.
Or
something.
Asperger's or whatever.
Yeah.
But like find other couples and like how they handled their autistic spouse and how they communicate with them and stuff. Because does she need to just be blunt back, or does she have to explain things differently? Where she's like, you saying that? No.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, you're not allowed to say that. Yeah, and like having a really frank talk about this is all like, I feel this way. This is what I see. This is what's been happening.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, some people need, what's that called? I mean, I don't know. Like an ultimatum in a sense, but not like, I don't like divorce. So I'm not like, okay, this is what's on the line. But basically, like, I'm either going to, here's your ultimatum. I'm going to get more distant from you from now on. So if you want any kind of like close relationship, here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And we're going to be just, it's going to be going down the tubes if you don't change, Yeah. And maybe he just needs to know that and be like, oh man, what should I do? And so it's like, I need you to have a better job so we're not cutting into our savings every month. He's like, okay,
Cutting into what she's worked hard for.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people that I've known who are definitely either, autistic or what'd you call it? Asperger's or something like that.
Yeah.
They can fully be incredibly hard workers, know. I remember my mom ran into a janitor and he's like, yeah, I keep a timer on my phone because if I don't do that, I get too distracted. And so it goes off every 5 minutes. And I know this is a reminder that I need to get back to it. And I'm like, okay, whatever works.
Way to go. Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I should do.
I know, right? And so that was very helpful for him. And he just devised a system to be a responsible person. And I don't care who you are capable of that.
Absolutely.
If you apply yourself. And so
it's going to be hard. Like everyone's dealt a hand that they're like, okay, I have to I have to deal with this
Yeah.
kind of thing. And for other people, they just have to work harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's really good books and resources too for people who are in that situation of, it's just like one thing that you don't have is you have a reason, but not an excuse.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So many people have, whether it's like ADHD or whatever it is, and this culture is really terrible for that. For Instagram, TikTok, what they do is they provide you an excuse. They're like, you're just a victim. You're just a victim. You can't help it. And
which doesn't give anyone room to be able to actually change or be better. They're like, oh, because I have this problem, I can't do this thing. It's like, yeah, but you don't actually know if you have that problem.
Yeah. And even if you do have the problem, so what?
Figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like the guy who put the timer on his phone.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is we are all on a spectrum of humanity. Okay. Nobody is perfect and nobody is really naturally gifted at anything. We all have to learn. And some people, they're like, oh, it's hard for me to learn. It's just like, that's the hard thing you have to do. It's really hard for me to be able to read. But guess what? I don't get to just be like, oh, here's the reason for me not to read. Yeah. And, so it's just like, okay, I'm going to do my best. My poor wife will have to edit
problems
forever to make me sound intelligent.
Yeah, you can't use it as something where you're just like, oh, I'm a victim, so I won't even try.
Yeah.
So like, no. You can't use it as a crutch or an excuse.
Because guess what? If you don't have autism that you're going to use as your victim card, you'll find something else in your life. You're like, oh, it's the way I was raised. Oh, I don't have this natural talent. Oh, I don't have. It's just like, you know what? Burn that victim card.
Yeah. Excuses.
Grow up.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah.
There's always excuses. I use them all the time. Excuse me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's read some comments. Someone said, please remember to keep civil and respectful comments. Okay, well, we'll see how. I'm divorcing him on your behalf. Me too.
Yikes.
I'll sign on. Oh my gosh. And then someone's like, let's all jump on the divorce train.
Oh my gosh.
That's for you.
No.
Sign me up. Okay, that's stupid. All right, moving on. Okay, I'm in. Sounds like OP would be much better off on her own. At least she'd get child support, which is hopefully more than $50 a week. He grudgingly gives her. Let's all go over and kick him out. Throw a party, and better yet, go watch the kids so she can get some decent sleep.
Am I the a-hole? My mom feels my sister should have married my husband instead of me. I am upset at my mom and my sister because of something my mother said, but everyone around me feels I am overreacting. Please be brutally honest in telling me if I am being insecure or if my mom and my husband are wrong in this. Let me give you a bit of backstory. My husband, James, 34 male, and I, 29 female, were neighbors growing up. My sister, Fran, 34, was in the same grade as my husband growing up. Everyone knew my sister in school because she is very smart and beautiful. James had a huge crush on her, and all of us knew about it. He asked her out for senior prom, and Fran shot him down in front of the whole school. They still remained friends, but he moved to a different state for college, and we did not hear much from him, except see him when he came back for holidays. James and I were never friends growing up. Since I was in middle school when this happened, in fact, I was much younger than both of them, and they would actively avoid me or involving me in their hangouts and activities. I went to a good college and got my first job in the same city as James. My mom suggested I should contact James since I did not know anyone there. We became friends, and 3 years later, we got married. We both have high-paying jobs and love our life. We moved back to our hometown during COVID as James's mom had health issues, and our jobs allowed us to work remotely. Fran also had a pretty good life. She married when she was 23 and her husband was pretty well off. 2 years ago, Fran discovered that he was cheating on her for almost the entire duration of their marriage with multiple partners, and she decided to break things off. Fran moved back with my mom. Fran had not worked for the entire duration of their marriage and was expecting to gain significant alimony from the divorce. However, due to complications regarding prenup, she barely got anything and is struggling financially. She got a job but is barely able to afford her own place and continues living with my mom. James and I were very supportive of her during the whole process. Since James and Fran were both friends growing up, they both have a special bond. They have their inside jokes and stories and sometimes feel like a third wheel when we all meet. However, James keeps his distance and has never given me any reason to believe that he has lingering feelings for her. Fran, on the other hand, constantly visits us like 2 to 3 times a week and ends up staying for dinner and sleeping in our guest room. I don't mind her coming over, but I do not like the fact that she talks more to James than with me. Also, she always comes over when I am not at home, and I often find them sitting next to each other on a sofa and watching TV when I get home. It sort of reminds me of my childhood where I was locked out of the basement when Fran had friends over and I would feel left out. Fran is also too comfortable around James and walks around the house in just a towel after her shower when James is around, or sleep in her underwear in guest room without locking the door. I have voiced my concerns to her, but she says that we are family and she does not care. I also voiced my concerns to James, and he does make efforts now to explain stories and inside jokes if Fran makes them. The main issue happened this weekend. I was hanging out with my mom and Fran last weekend, and Fran was recollecting stories about how James would do her homework and do chores for her growing up. She said, "He was so much in love with me and I felt guilty taking advantage of him." My mom jokingly said to her that I wish you had the wits to marry James, that your loser husband and you would have not been in this situation. Fran smiled after hearing that and nodded, but I was hurt by the comment. I protested to my mom that James is my husband and do not want her to make such comments about him. My mom doubled down and said that she feels like it because both James and I are high earners while Fran is struggling. So it would make sense if Fran was married to James and I would be fine since I do not need James to support me financially.
Bruh. Yeah.
She kept telling me that it was just hypothetical and wants both of her daughters to be happy. I did not like those comments and told them not to speak like that about James or my marriage in general. Fran chimed in and told me that I should not be so sensitive about the comments and taking them personally. However, I had a fight with both of them and I left. When I came home and told James, he also sided with my mom and Fran and told me that her mom just made a harmless joke. I also raised the issue of Fran's behavior around our house, and he told me that this is between me and my sister, and he's not going to tell Fran about what she can or cannot wear in our house. However, I'm just feeling really bad since the situation, and despite everyone apologizing to me, things just don't feel right. Am I wrong here in reacting the way I did, or does everyone else have a point? And I should be more secure about my relationship with James. Girl, It sounds like, I don't know. It sounds, maybe they're just straight up cheating behind her back. Like she's staying the night at their house and stuff all the time.
Is she living with them or just staying over from time to time?
She's
really
like,
figure it out.
It sounds like she just comes over whenever she wants. Like she floats from mom's house to their house.
Yikes.
Because she doesn't have a place of her own or any money or the ability to get a job, I guess.
Yeah. That's weird. I don't know.
That situation is weird. And for the husband to be like, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm like, what? You could be like, sorry, you can't spend time with me anymore. My wife is more important than you.
Yeah.
And then you're not allowed to walk around in a towel in our house. That's inappropriate. And you're just not allowed to stay over in general unless... That's what makes me think I'm all like, so is the husband cheating on you? And they're just not talking about it? Because I'm just all like, the comfortability. I'm like, that would just be, that's just so inappropriate.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I can't imagine walking around in a towel and being like, I'm not trying to seduce your husband in any way. What do you mean? Whoops. You know, like, are you kidding me over here? Come on.
Yeah. The weirdest thing is that her husband and her are not on the same side of this issue. You know?
Yeah.
That's the most troubling part. because everything else is just like, okay, whatever, you know, you might have your weird sister who's, you know, and your mom who might be on sides. Okay, whatever. That doesn't really matter. You know, it doesn't matter what they think, you know, and it's not really their business anyway. But yeah, she should work with her husband and be like, hey, this is actually serious to me. You and her used to like each other. You had a huge crush on her before.
Yeah.
When you're in high school. I'm not comfortable with this.
No. It bothers me that, he didn't take her side at all. He was just all like, oh, you're overreacting.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and then for
what?
her sister to be like, yeah, you know, I should have married him. You know, this is like,
crazy sister rivalry going on.
Yeah. Yeah. So
remember how I used to be dating your man? I'm all like, who brings that up unless they're trying to be bad?
Yeah. Yeah. So everyone in the comments is just like, bruh.
No way.
Yeah. Okay, why don't you go to
especially if she thinks like stuff is going on. I'm all like, seems fishy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This person had something, they were like, he's being used for her ego, and he needs to see that. It's just like, he's kind of like a weird, you know, not a bargaining chip, but like, I don't know, a point of leverage between.
Yeah, he's being used as that. We're just all like,
yeah.
Like, oh, your husband used to be in love with me. Remember that? Remember? Oh, James, you're so funny. So funny.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that he's not bothered is the biggest problem. Yeah. I would be concerned that they're doing something inappropriate or would head that way in the future. You know?
Yeah, no, like, that's totally
are you guarding your heart? You know, because you seem to not be bothered by this. Be like, I don't care what she wears, you know, whatever. It's just like, that's a guy who's not really guarding his thoughts very well.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Like, I can't tell her what to wear, what not to wear.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
All right, well, we'll see. You know what they should do?
What should they do, Bad?
No, what they shouldn't do.
Oh, what shouldn't they do?
Yeah, get divorced.
You're all like, they shouldn't divorce. And I was like, unless he's being unfaithful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which, let's find out, shall we?
All right, here's the update.
Bum, bum, bum. Thanks, everyone, for all your support on my previous post. To summarize what happened, my mom made a really off-putting comment that she wished my sister Fran was married to my husband, James. I got really mad, and my husband also tried to undermine my feelings and told me I was overreacting to a harmless joke. Sorry for the long post, but a lot of you were messaging me for update and wanted to tell what happened. The comments really made me paranoid, and I did see everyone's point that James may have just married me because of his crush on Fran. This really shot up my anxiety, and I started snooping around. My husband literally makes me check his phone for new messages when he is not around, so I knew there was nothing to hide there. However, I was spooked by how my sister always knows when I am not home, and why James and Fran are always sitting on the same couch when I come home. That is just no way, dude. I tried talking to my husband, and he told me that my feelings were valid. However, he also said that Fran is going through a tough time and refused to say anything bad about my mom and Fran. This is terrible. Okay. Last Friday, I went to gym as usual in the evening, and when I came home, Fran was sitting in the living room while James was cooking dinner. I got a bit angry and asked her what she was doing here. She said she had no plans for the night and she came to hang out with us. It really annoyed me, and I told her that I wanted to spend a quiet weekend with my husband, and if she can come by some other time. She could see I was upset. She started saying how our mom was just being silly and I need to let it go. It was just a joke. I told her I did not find it funny, and we got into a fight. She said that I am always an insecure, annoying kid, and no wonder no one liked me. It really hurt me, but James stepped in and told Fran that she needs to leave. I know. I have never seen James be so forceful with Fran. Fran muttered something unpleasant things to James and then left. I was in tears by the end of the whole thing, and James was consoling me. I was really upset and spent the night in our room alone. In the morning,
Why did that happen, I wonder?
I know. I'm like, what?
She shouldn't have been like, you're not allowed in my room.
Yeah. Seriously. In the morning, I prepared notes on all the things that I really wanted to ask James. Your comments really helped me get my thoughts straight. I know I was being very insecure, but after reading the comments, I really started questioning if James really married me for me or just because I was Fran's sister and looked like her. People call me Dollar Store Fran in high
That's
school.
sad.
No. James and I had a long conversation. I told him my anxieties and insecurities. I told him how it makes me feel that he spends so much time with Fran when she visits us and they have their own inside jokes. I asked him if he still has feelings for her. He was calm and smiling the whole time. He told me that he will tell me the truth, but does not want me to hate him for it later. Yikes. He said that he knows Fran used him all through their school days because she knew he liked her. When he went to college, Fran still tried to keep in touch with him, but putting distance between them made him realize how badly she treated him, and he decided to just cut contact with her so that he can work on himself. That was the reason he rarely visited us when he used to come for holidays and stopped being friends with Fran. I told him that it bothered me that he chose Fran before me and ignored me during our childhood. That was the reason I always had the doubt if I was his second choice. He said that I was 13 when he went to college, and if he would have liked me instead of Fran at that age, we would be having a different problem. He told me that when I contacted him, he thought that I must be like Fran and was not very enthusiastic to meet me. However, after we hung out for a few times, he realized I am nothing like Fran. We soon became close, started dating, and got married after a few years. He told me that Fran was married by then, and he saw that I always put Fran on the pedestal and would get jealous when Fran posted vacation pictures of the new shiny things her husband bought for her. That was the reason he never told me that he does not like hanging around Fran, and he feels that for me, Fran was always the North Star. He told me that he has always kept his distance from Fran, and she was a non-issue since we would meet her only a few times every year. However, after her divorce, he did not know how to act. He said that he was grateful for me uprooting our lives and moving back to our hometown for his mom's health. He wanted to do the same and take care of my family. When Fran got divorced, he supported her in every way he could for me, even though he realized it meant spending a lot of time with her and listening to her bring up memories from high school that he wants to forget. I told him it bothered me that Fran came into our house as often as she does, and generally in evenings when I go to the gym. He told me that he also finds it odd and that she knows my gym routine and always comes on evenings when I'm not home. However, he told me that he has always kept his distance from her, and if she did anything that would raise an alarm, he would have told me immediately. She just makes him watch all the old movies or TV shows they watched growing up and gossips endlessly about their high school friends. Yikes. He told me I need to trust him, and if I want him to be the bad guy and ask Fran not to visit us as often, he can do that for me. However, he knows that I will eventually make up with my mom and Fran and does not want me to blame him for being mean to Fran. However, he told me that he will not tell Fran what to wear around the house, as it would be creepy if it came from him. I felt I got all the assurance I needed from James, and I will never doubt how amazing of a husband he has been. My mom and Fran visit us on Sunday, and my mom profusely apologized to me. She told me she does not want me to feel bad for her comment, and she would never wish anything bad on my marriage. She meant to say that James was a great guy, and she hopes Fran can find someone like him one day. Fran was a bit sour, but apologized to us for all of the name calling on Friday and told us that it's just her hormones. Okay. She said that she likes hanging out with her sister and her best friend and hence comes to our house. I told her she is welcome to come anytime she wants, but to call ahead of time just in case if James and I have plans for the evening. And she agreed. I really want to move past this issue, but I do want to put some firm boundaries on when Fran can come to our house and hang out with James alone, as I know it bothers him too. Overall, I feel things are good now, and I'm glad my worst fears did not come true, but I do feel I need some therapy in order to deal with my insecurities.
Okay. Well, that ended
great.
Well. Yeah. They had an adult-sized conversation.
Yes. She talked to her husband.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then put up boundaries at the end. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I think that
ended really well.
Good. Yeah.
And I'm glad her worst fears didn't come true too, because that would have been terrible.
Yeah. I think it's weird that he didn't feel comfortable to be like, can you, get fully dressed before you, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm not going to tell her what she can and can't wear. It's just like, I don't know. Is it?
Well, he said he didn't want to say that because he was afraid he would sound creepy.
I don't know. Okay, sure. Yeah, whatever. I guess it'd be uncomfortable. Be like, oh, excuse me, can you get fully clothed?
Yeah.
Nah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Is there any other thoughts here? There's not a whole lot of input. Just like,
No,
glad it all worked out.
they did a great
They
job.
didn't get divorced. Divorce didn't even come up.
Wow.
All of Reddit is really
Imagine
disappointed.
that. Crazy. No, and I'm glad her sister too was just all like, oh, I'm sorry, kind of thing and then he's like, I'll be the bad guy and say for her not to come over. But then I like what they're like, I don't want to stop her from coming over. I just want to know when that's going to happen. Because it does suck when you like come home and you're like, oh, you're here. Not what I wanted for the evening. Great,
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I like this comment. It's funny. It's just like, okay, but your sister lives... Wait, no, sorry, not that one. And she can't leave or drive? Put that woman in an Uber and shuttle her out the front door and then lock it. Tell her to let her know when she gets home safe. Yeah, that's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's just like, get that lady out of there. She doesn't need a shower at your house ever. That is true. You could send I think that would have been a perfect time. She did kind of like back off a little bit where she was all like, oh, you can come over anytime. It's just like, no, not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
It's just like, we would like to have you over more, or we would like to have you over. Let's do just every Friday. That's it. And then you actually have like a boundary where you can actually maybe have a good time with someone. And she's not like coming home from work and they're
for
all
the
like sitting
three
on the
of them to have a good time.
Yeah.
Not just her and her husband.
Yeah.
Having a good
Exactly.
time. And she's sitting there like, oh, gee,
Just like OP and her husband might think about investing in a door camera. Not to spy on your husband, but just to see if your sister comes when they're at home.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
She maybe should have set up like a camera or something.
Mm-hmm. And how does she always know when she's gone?
Yeah, that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was like a couple of things I was just like,
Yeah. Maybe I was thinking of like a cinematic like movie thing where she confronts him and he's all like, "Oh, it was nothing." Blah 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 blah. And she's like, "Oh wow." And then the other person comes in like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." It's like, "Oh, everyone's forgiven." And they're like walking away, and then they're all like staring.
They're holding hands behind her back. Yeah, they're all like, "Oh, this is getting a little too." I know. I was thinking that too. Yeah. It's like, "Oh, this is getting out of hand. We need to fix this so that she can feel okay." And they're like, "Oh, we're safe again."
This all seemed a little bit too
happy ending.
Yeah, happy ending.
We watched too many twists, thrillers.
Yeah. I'm like, there's got to be more. Update number 2. They broke up. They divorced. Okay, well, is that it?
Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.